MP Brownberg has gone through quite a number of issues facing the education system. And I just want to perhaps dwell on a few things to consolidate what some of the things she has said. We need to consider these times to be challenging to the very core of our principles of equality and equity and the right to education of all our children. We have seen the thin wedge of inequality in our education system. It has now become the thick wedge of inequality. We cannot, to this day, account for 108,000, some say 120,000 children who've just not been accessing education. Do you know what that means? It means that all the children, let's look at it. A cohort of children in our schools is approximately 40,000 children. So it would mean that one cohort of all grade 1 children, one cohort of all grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4 children have been missing out on education. What is this going to mean for us? When was the last time that we can say 102 or 120,000 children have not accessed education in Jamaica for nearly 2 years? These are serious times, and these questions must be answered by the Minister of Education and by everyone, every teacher, every education officer, every permanent secretary, everybody who is concerned about education should be answering these questions. These are urgent questions that must be answered. But however, this time means that our school leaders and our teachers will have to work harder and from a clear values position that says education matters. We need to make sure in Jamaica that when we say all our children can learn and all of our children must learn, that is a reality. Right now, that is not a reality, and somebody needs to make it a reality. So, will those who teach and lead teaching and learning come out clearly and say what it is they're going to do? So I'm speaking to my principal friends and my teacher colleagues and asking you now to take the bull by the horn. Sometimes, I remember when I was an education officer, I would go to some schools where other education officers would not go. I remember going down to Charlie Smith High School, where the children were being taught not necessarily by teachers, but people who would come in to help, because some teachers just never wanted to teach at Charlie Smith High School. And I said to the principal then, you are doing what you know to be right. You're trying to get these children an education that is so needed at this time. We've heard teachers about learning loss, an approach that you need to take, and I'm hoping, that come the first week in November, yes, ma'am? Yes. That we'll hear about the small groups of children who are going back systematically to school, right? Now, we've been talking about learning loss, and I'm going to challenge our teachers not to dwell so much on what has been lost. We know that the curriculum is organized in such a way that, you have to teach this, followed by that, followed by that. But the reality is, many of our children have been learning lots and lots of different things. So the question is, what do children know? What do they now need what do they want to learn? Or what do they want to learn, followed by what have they learned? That's a different set of a different question. What do they know? Our children now know a lot of things, some things that we do not necessarily want them to know, but they know them. And the teachers will have to go through and filter some of those issues and help the children to understand. Secondly, that's what do they need to know? What do you want to learn now? And work through that. I also think that many of our teachers will need to go beyond the call of duty, as you have always done, to find the 40 children in your primary classrooms or classes, and to find the 35 and 40 children from your form rooms. I believe, teachers, this is a great opportunity, or lots of opportunities, for collaboration between teachers on curriculum matters, on new ways of teaching, and to appropriate ways to do with how children learn and what they have learned outside of your classroom, so to speak. Appropriate those things and help them to make meaning and sense of them. For my principals who have been out there working, I want to encourage our principals to continue to work collaboratively. You have the answers. Much more. If were I the permanent secretary right now, or in the Ministry of Education, I would be saying to my principals, come, you tell me, because I cannot micromanage you from where I'm sitting. You tell me what is happening on the ground, and you do what is right and appropriate for the children. So I know I have every confidence in my teachers and in educators and in my principals that they understand that there is an urgency about educating our children, getting our children, all of our children accounted for and in front of a teacher and with the appropriate resources that they need at this time. I have no doubt that they're going to do that, and they're prepared. I know from talking to teachers and principals that they're prepared and have been for a long time. We just need the people at the top to do what is necessary. Thank you.